Alright, we're going to show you how to fly the different air vehicles here in Rust Console Edition. The Mini, Scrappy, Attack Helicopter, and yes, even the Balloon. Okay, so obviously this is next gen, obviously, and I'm also on my own server. But it enables us to kind of fly around and look through things much, much quicker. The standard helicopters don't really spawn anywhere at all. The hot air balloon does spawn sporadically throughout the map. You can buy all of them over here at the bandit camp at a place called Airwolf. You can see in the back. Actually, let me get up real high. You can see where the ferry boat is, or the dredge. And you can see the giant H. It's a helicopter pad, and it's Airwolf. Let me go ahead and drop myself on the ground. Plop. You can buy a hot air balloon here for 150 scrap. Minicopter is sold for 750 scrap. You've got the Scrappy for 1,250 scrap? There, yep, I was right. And then the most expensive one, this is crazy. 2,000, wait, how much was that? I just bought it. Oh my goodness. 2,250 scrap. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the hot air balloon first. Hot air balloon is based off of speed and height off of the health. Didn't know that for the longest time, now you do. When you have no armor on it, you can repair this with just cloth. And here's how this works. It's a little crazy. Essentially, all these little flags you have here are going to tell you what wind direction you're at. But since you only can control up and down, there's also the windsock here, you essentially have to find a height that's a good, or the direction that you want, and try to maintain it. Think Flappy Birds, but very slow. Yeah, see how we're kind of running into this now? See how the flag's changing as our height changes? And if this were to be damaged, this would actually take a lot longer for it to happen. We do have a basket here, very nice. Also, if you are going to parachute off the side of this thing, make sure it's not going in the direction of the opening. You will get crushed. You can just jump out and then hit the parachute. So if I want to go towards a fishing village, I'm going to have to hit the gas again and wait for this flag to kind of turn more to the right. And then as I like that, I kind of lay off the gas, let it free fall a little bit, give it a little bit of gas, a little bit of gas. But don't let it free fall for too long because it starts to gain speed like that. Anyways, if you're to jump out here, you can press the parachute. If you have one on your back already, tapping A once, or your jump button. We lost it forever. And if you tap A one more time, you actually lose, or you cut your parachute. And if you weren't in G mode, you would actually die. Then you can pack up your parachute like so. Your action button, ours is X here on Xbox. Teehee. You can only put the parachute back in when you're standing on the ground. You can't equip it last second in the air. I've tried. Okay. And if you're in G mode, I don't think you can really deploy it either, or even attach it to yourself. Oh, that's nice. I actually landed at the fishing village. How quaint. So yeah, it's just a combination between finding the height that is the direction that you do like and kind of just maintain it from there. Now, you can put armor on this bad boy. It just takes a lot of practice for sure. Once you have the armored hab, I think it's called, or like just a hot air balloon armor, you look at this corner and you can equip it. Now, when this gets damaged, it'll take metal fragments and cloth. The beauty of this is people flying around in minis will have a hard time getting you. You literally will stop multiple shots. So if you're flying over hostile areas, the basket with the armor on it is the way to go. People can open the door. You cannot put a lock on there. Also tried that. But it is kind of the way to fly. If you know you have a lot of hot air balloons spawning around you, I would suggest the basket armor. It's nice. So you can see we're very snappy when we actually have full health balloon. And here's the other thing too. There's kind of a glitch right now where like your button is unresponsive. What makes this even harder to fly is then you'll have to take out your low grade and then put it back in, which makes you free fall pretty fast. So there's that. So if your button stops working, try that trick. And again, if you jump out the front, like right now, I'd probably die if I wasn't in G mode. Okay, there you go. Armored basket, hot air balloon. Give it a try. It's the cheapest mode of transportation in airborne sense, and it doesn't take too much low grade, although for like a journey across the map, I would take like 250 with me, 200, just to be on the safe side. And again, think about this. You can have your crew with you, and then they just kind of jump out with like cards, and you know, then you can go back and pick them up. As long as they have parachutes, obviously. You don't want them just jumping out. Okay. two not hot air balloons, two minicopters. Okay, so these are very confusing because of the way they fly. They fly more like real helicopters. So when a helicopter goes up, right, which is your right thumbstick. Actually, let's go ahead and bring up the controls for a second. Oh, let's rewind that. So for the aerial stuff, anything with helicopters, you're going to want to have head turn, so you're special. So here our special button is Y. You can see it at the bottom of the screen. You want it to head, look, hold. Being able to look around your knees as best you can, or kind of to your left and right, is very important while you're flying to kind of get orientation. So keep that in mind. So for here, we're just going to kind of outline, because the PlayStation controller and the Xbox controller are very similar. So when I say right trigger, you know what that is, right bumper, Y, B, and all that other stuff. So, okay. So the trick is, the thing that makes you go up, right, which is right trigger, is the rotor, so it actually just makes you go up. What actually makes you go forward is you tip the helicopter forward while holding right trigger, and it will slowly like push you forward because you're still technically going up, but you're like tilted forward. So in that case, you do slowly gain altitude, but you also gain speed. I'll show you here in a second. So I'm just holding right trigger. So left thumbstick lets you lean forward. No, I'm sorry, it's right thumbstick, my bad. See how I'm leaning forward now? I don't have my right thumbstick, or I'm sorry, I don't have my right trigger initiated, but when I do, watch, I start to move fast. But then I start to lose some altitude. But I'm gaining speed. So to get more height, I'm going to have to lean back a little bit, not completely, and get some more height. The trick with the helicopter really is just making sure you know where your level is at. A lot of people, the problem is, like, people will overcorrect. It takes a second for it to be responsive, and people will overcorrect. They'll go like this, and they go, oh, yikes, and then like pull way back and then do too much. And then next thing you know, you're, yeah, just like that. That scared me. I actually didn't know it was that low to the ground. So because of that, just know it's not that responsive, so it takes a second for it to engage. So you want to get some height, yes, but always kind of maintain where your level is at. I know that probably sounds super confusing, but let's try this. There's a couple different things we can do to kind of make this a bit easier. And don't even worry about your left thumbstick yet. Okay, so we're just going to get in this bad boy. By the way, when you do spawn this, I think it's a 5 or 10 minute timer. Nobody can get in unless they're on your team. You do get 100 low grade for each of the vehicles. And people can't like troll you. But as soon as that timer's up, they can push you off the pad. So keep that in mind. Also, if you want to, your crouch button, especially if you toggle, these do drive like ground vehicles once you have toggled crouch on. So watch, if I hit the rotor and I hit my crouch once, my right trigger becomes forward, my left trigger becomes reverse. And I'm just using left thumbstick to steer at this point. I'm using left trigger to go backwards, and I'm stuck to the ground completely. At least I think I am. I hope I am. I am. So watch, I'll hit crouch, toggle off, and watch, I'll start going up. I'm holding right trigger. I would suggest this. Get some height like this, and just take note, like I'm using head turn now, right? Like I'm just looking around. Just have an idea of where your rotors are at and like how level they are. Because if I tip backwards a little bit, I'll start to slowly like go back. You see that? I'm not even hitting throttle. So don't even hit like right trigger at all. Just kind of lean forward and see how you're like moving forward and you're losing altitude. So like level it out and then hold right trigger to go up again. Now try the same motion, very slowly going forward. Do not do too much because everybody crashes when they overcorrect. So like I'm leaning forward a little bit and I'm hitting a little bit of gas. And I'm kind of keeping my right thumbstick. I'm leaning forward a little bit. And I'm not going too far because if I do, I start losing altitude. But if I tip just enough forward and I have the gas on, I'm still like keeping my height roughly and I'm going forward. So I'm going to let off the right thumbstick, or I'm sorry, right trigger. I'm going to try to tip the helicopter up level. And now what you can do is you can turn completely by using left thumbstick turning right. I'm not pressing anything else. And it hovers quite nicely in position. So now I'm tipping forward and holding right trigger. And since I have a lot of height, I'm not super worried about it. But as soon as I come in a little low, I'm going to back off and lay off the right trigger, kind of level off. But again, if you go back too far, like if you're looking at the clouds, you're going to lose control very quickly. See how much height we lost? Like a ton. So you always want to make sure you have the horizon in view. best thing to do is kind of like do small movements at first and don't go too far back. Whatever you do, the worst thing you could possibly be in is that when you're looking at the clouds, because you have no idea how much altitude you're losing. So like right here, I'm kind of coming in low. I'm back. I'm not even pressing right trigger at all. I'm just dumping the height. I'm totally doing this with the right thumbstick. And I'm kind of leveling off and I'm slowly losing height. And then what I can do to go down a little bit faster is hold left trigger. And then usually what I do when I get close to the ground is I tap B, so I'm driving. Kind of snap down to the ground. Although this one's a little squirrely. There she goes. And then once you press A, you jump right out. Although, yeah, this should be sliding as much as it is. Now check this out. There are controller options. I would recommend this at first, but this will come in handy at some point. Because holding the button to exit is nice, but there's some times where you need the ability to jump out very quickly. I would strongly recommend, where is it at? Is it under controls? Okay, here we go. At the very bottom, dismount speed. If you notice, like on the horse, when you press dismount, you just pop right off. There's a slight timer. So I kind of took mine from like 5 seconds to 0.3 seconds, maybe even 0.2. You maybe don't want to do that right away, but it is nice if something happens. You get shot at with a SAM, or you need to dismount the vehicle to then parachute down. Let's say you're going to go counter cargo ship. Having a dismount speed around 0.2 or 0.3, or even 0 if you got big, healthy brass ones, that's not terrible. I did kick mine down to 0.3. I think it was at 0.5 before, giving you a bit more responsiveness, because sometimes you need to bail. Sometimes you're getting shot at by your own SAM site. You know, it's a thing. Okay, so the one you're probably going to fly the most is the Mini. Did we lose the Mini? Did I crash it? This is the one you're probably going to get first because it's the cheapest. And to be fair, it's good for solos and duos across the board. $750 is expensive, yes. But if you make like a little garage for this thing on your rooftop, it's not too bad. So right now I'm just holding right trigger just to go up. Nothing else. I'm not touching any thumbsticks. Even before I leave, because it keeps me nice and level, I'm going to use my left thumbstick and then go right to turn. But also be mindful. See how my nose is coming up? I'm now pushing my right thumbstick forward, and now I'm going to hit right trigger. See, even the subtlest movement can dump your height, so you really got to keep the nose down, level, and watch your altitude. Now with my head turn, I can really look around. Oh, nice. Oh, when we're in the air, apparently we can reach around and hit the fuel box here, which is very useful. Let me teach you a couple other little goodies about, see how like we're flying and then we are like, oh, we need more fuel. Okay, we're good. That's very critical. Now, a lot of you are probably like, hey, what if I pick up a passenger? Well, the thing is, they can't attack you. They're always facing forward. So what you could do is either lop their head off by flying them under an overpass, or you can take them back to your base and let them get shot by your own turrets. You got a couple of different options. Or they get bored and jump off the top. Either way, if you pick up a passenger, it's not the end of the world. They technically can hurt you. Now, if they were to parachute down and then shoot up, that's a different story. Hey, let's make it a bit brighter outside. Hold up. Remember to catch up. Boop. So once you have one helicopter down, you're pretty much good for the other ones. The Mini's very responsive. I think it's the most agile. The attack helicopter is agile, but it's the faster of the two. Oh, I should say of the three. And then you have the old scrappy poo over here. The passenger and the pilot can fly from here. Lots of people can fit in the back. You can parachute off the back. It's crazy. You can shoot from the back. The one thing you cannot do is mount from the back to the front. If the pilot gets shot down and you have no co-pilot and it's going down, you're along for the ride. Good luck. But if you have a parachute, you can jump out. By the way, X on the Xbox is the button to switch seats. Although I don't think you can do it here. Yeah, not on the Scrappy. Fun fact, that motor sounds like a motorcycle and not a helicopter. I wonder what's coming. This one's nice because you can carry a lot of your boys, but it's not, if you're getting shot at, you got to be super careful because she can take a couple hits, but she's not that mobile. And you can also turn on your spotlight under the helicopter by holding Y, which is in the north position on the control cluster. Holding Y turns it off yet again. There are no flares here. This is just a gas-guzzling bus. If you do happen to get shot at with a SAM, I would recommend A, keeping like a decent height as you travel and keeping a decent speed, and then when you hear like a SAM site lock onto you, ooh, we're getting a bit of frame drop. The best thing to do is aim down like this and then try to recover by like bringing your nose back up really quickly. So like if I get shot at, I'm like hitting the gas, right trigger, and then pushing forward. Now I'm just pulling back on the thumbstick, the right thumbstick, to keep it up, and I took my finger off of the right trigger. You'll get the hang of it. The nose dive when you first get shot is quite a terrifying experience, but yeah. Here's the thing, if you don't park these bad boys in like areas that are safe or like hard to get to, people will snatch these every time. If you park them on top of your base, people will steal them. If you park them at the outpost, people will steal them. I'm going to fly over to a couple different spots to show you some good places to hang out. Because I think one of the strong points of these helicopters is the fact that like solos, duos can like take a mini and like go to the outpost and do like exchange, scrapping, and then like come back quickly. You can traverse the entire map, no problem. So we're going to show you at the bandit camp a place to hide. Well, it's not invincible, but a place to kind of park, a little safe zone, and 2 good places at the outpost. Again, if you fall down from these positions, the bird's pretty much gone. So yeah, the best advice I can probably say is just to keep your nose level with the horizon as much as possible and do small movements and counter gradually. So I think the ferry boat's a good place. You can land one here, but people can come up on the ladder. Once you become more proficient with landing, you can come right up here, and you want to keep it more to the left or in the middle. And then again, you can stick to the surface by hitting B. Yeah, I didn't actually do that. Hold on. See how I like lost control? Sometimes it's better to just take off and come back around again. Yeah, you would think it's easy to land on these small spots. It's not. It's really not. So like, I'm gonna hit B, block my wheels down. That's my crouch button. Then I'm gonna get in the center, and then I'm gonna uncrouch and then kind of look. The reason why you want to keep it in the middle is because people can kind of jump up, and if they can see the mount button from there, they can like teleport up to your vehicle. The best thing you can do is if you're standing here, if anybody comes close, just remount your vehicle and then just take off. Sometimes this is good to eat, refuel, you know, stop and have a heart attack after you just got shot at with a SAM site or a homing missile. So this is a good place to kind of hang out. Like if your boys are out there farming, you want to go pick them up. A lot of times, like once you become more comfortable with flying, you can also kind of skim the treetops a little bit. Find where there's like low indentations in the terrain. Obviously know where the SAM sites are at on other bases. But sometimes flying low like this and then having trees for cover or ground can be very effective. But you have to be extremely comfortable with flying to do this, because if you get any kind of hesitation here, you're dead. But like this hilly terrain can be really good if you have a lot of SAM sites or a lot of hostile people trying to shoot at you or lock onto you. It's like Top Gun Maverick kind of. But also you got to be careful because people can just shoot at you outright, and that can also be a big problem. So I'd strongly suggest wearing some type of armor, especially on your head, especially with all the people that have all the zero recoil cheating devices. A lot of people like to shoot at that driver's head. So obviously if you're not wearing armor, you're pretty susceptible to eating it. And surprisingly, like I said, once this thing's level, you can scout bases pretty easily by just kind of hovering and taking a look, you know? I'll be honest, there it is. Another good tactic for kind of avoiding shots, once you have a good momentum going forward like this, because I'm holding right trigger and just leaning forward a little bit with my right thumbstick, you can kind of wiggle the helicopter by just using right thumbstick and going left and right. You kind of get this rocking effect. But be careful not to bring up the cheeks too high, because yeah, you'll lose control pretty quickly. Again, like practice your dives, coming back up. Just kind of know where all the obstructions are that you can kind of fly behind, because people will open fire on you on a regular basis. Expect it. But also know where your safe zones are at. Just kind of pulling into a safe zone for a second to repair, catch your breath is very important. Okay. So a lot of times you'll be pulling up here with your boys or by yourself. If you know how to dump people off the front of your bird here by knocking them off with the canopy or you just have turrets back at your base. It's not a big deal. What you can do is you can actually pull up here once you're a bit more proficient, and you can actually recycle right from your Mini. Watch, I get all cocky and I hit the wall. Remember, once you lock your wheels on the ground with crouch, I can drive up to this and I can recycle. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Did that jump out? Oh, it switched me. Wow, the button to do that is the same as switch. That's dangerous. Okay, so I guess you gotta do a hot swap quick. There you go. Whoa, that's terrifying. So you gotta click X once and then hit the box, because then if somebody gets in your driving position, you're done. So here's the thing. Once you're in your bird here, by the way, there's supposed to be more mobility with you looking down past your knees. It kind of locks you, because you should be able to reach back and actually hit your fuel spot here. But if you're in the driver's seat, nobody can mess with your vehicle as far as like your gas tank or flying it, but people can push you manually, so keep that in mind. So I didn't know that our X button moves us up, so I guess we got to be in the front box first and then hit X, and then you can recycle from here. Anyways, you get the idea. You can recycle from your bird. So I'm still locked on the ground, so I'm going to hit left trigger to go backwards. And I'm going to hit crouch one more time. Just go up. Boop, 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 boop. Another cool thing you can do here is you can actually use the vending machines pretty easily. Oh, pro tip. Oh, geez, don't get stuck. If you're getting pushed around, oh my goodness, don't crash. Don't crash while we're trying to teach people. Don't crash. Yeah, I can get up here. If you let people push you around, don't let them get you stuck in corners or under this. If they get the bird stuck under here, literally you cannot get back out. It won't decay. People will get pushed off. It just becomes deadlock. So it just, yeah, ask me how we know. So once you're here in town, you can actually lock your wheels on the ground again by hitting crouch. You can drive up to all these vending machines like they're a little go-kart. So I'm going to hit left trigger to land, crouch, and now what I can do is use right trigger to just drive, and I'm using my left thumbstick to steer. Boom. I'm shopping. It's a drive-thru. You guys want some pancakes? All right. So as we found earlier, maybe you need to switch your action button off of X, because apparently it's the same as switching seats. You can drive over here and use this vending machine. It's not bad. Okay, now let me show you a couple safe spots you can actually use. You guys get the idea. So now I'm going to hit crouch one more time to leave my ground position. There's two good spots that I think. I mean, there's a couple, but more than a couple. This is a good one because you can actually jump back up, but you have to get proficient with the jump corner, which I'll try to do, but I bet you I miss. People can reach you here, but you'll see and hear them coming well before it happens. Usually your boy will come down here, and then once you're down here recycling, you're good to go, and then when they want to come back up, they hit the fence and kind of do the jump. Let's see if I can do it. If I miss it, you'll just know that it's possible and that I suck. Yes. Again, if your pilot's sitting there watching, you'll know when someone's trying to get up there, and then you can just take off. Or just your pilot always sit in his seat and you'll be fine. A lot of pressure here to perform. What you want to do is aim for the edge of the for the rooftop. You know, I'm cheating. Whoop. Just know it's possible. It's a hard jump. The other thing you can do, if you're cool with picking your homie up and not having some other extra passenger, you have two other rooftops that are really good for this. There's a lot of weird invisible barriers, so I kind of stay away from these other buildings. This is a good one here. Again, you have to be comfortable with slowing down and then dropping your... And your boy can actually jump off the rooftop here onto different rooftops. Boop. Boop. And then go recycle, and then you have to go pick them up manually. Or you can park in the one in the back here. We often use these rooftops to kind of like catch our breath. Or refuel. Or... to be fair, when it's nighttime, it's absolutely terrifying to be flying, so. If you get a foggy night and you're trying to fly and it's nighttime, good luck. I would say when you're a pilot, not only wear some kind of head protection, but try to wear a parachute, and your passenger probably should too. So if things do go wrong, you can just eject and then parachute down. Just remember to hit jump one time. The next time you hit it is actually going to cut your chute. Another great thing to do with the Minicopter is to go out to different hills and just do crazy farming with the jackhammer. Strongly recommend that one. Another great tip, stay away from launch site. Actually, let's fly across. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Everywhere around the office building and the launch, or the assembly building, crazy loaded with SAM sites. Actually, let's see if we can dump a couple of these shots. This one's going to catch me right here. Dive. Ooh, we dipped him, kind of. So you see how, like, when a SAM site hits you, you've got a couple shots, but not too many. Yikes! So you really got to, like, do sharp angles and drop altitude and try to find some cover. That's pretty hard to do. I was sweating that. Alright, are we... Okay, we're almost back. We'll show you some different configurations you can do inside the attack helicopter. It's super nice. Essentially, the attack helicopter is used to take out turrets and other air vehicles. But it's very expensive. But if you two-man it, it becomes basically an Apache helicopter, and you've got a gunner seat in the front that you can custom load as well. Okay, so we have the attack helicopter. Very expensive, the most expensive. You can also put flares inside and HVs. In the front, you can customize the turrets. You can put in a 39, custom bullets. The problem is the driver can't use that, your passenger can. And you can't use this unless the vehicle's on, which means you do definitely need two people for this. Now, you can fly it as a solo, sure. Same rules as the other helicopter. Right trigger to take off, keep the blades level. So here, if your passenger's in the front, you essentially can use the remote camera gun in the front. But if you're the pilot, you can drop flares by hitting Y or north on the control cluster here. So let me go ahead and do a head turn. SAM sites, homing missiles will all get dodged by that. Right bumper, which is above your right trigger, will shoot HVs. So essentially, if you have a Zerg base that has crazy amounts of turrets, this is the great way to start carving it out. As we know, HVs counter turrets pretty dang well. I could try to switch to the front. Oh, there we go. Oh, I had it for a second. Oh, but the power went out. Oh, no. So you kind of get an idea of all the different flying vehicles, the different ways we can use them, some of their different functions. we're totally flipped over. And also, last but not least, but I don't have anybody to test it with, it was a source of great glitches beforehand, but it has since been fixed. The homing rocket. It's pretty self-explanatory. Once you have the lock tone, you can then launch. The missile comes out a little cattywampus, so you kind of want to make sure you've got some room for it. And then once it kind of goes out forward, then it launches up for its target. It flies similar to the SAM site missiles, but not exactly the same. But if you kind of know how to dodge a SAM site, you kind of know how to dodge a homing missile. And if you have an attack helicopter, then you've got a leg up because you can actually drop those flares. So there you go. I would say practice this bad boy. Start off small, slow movements. Keep yourself level. Try not to go backwards and look at the sky whenever possible. Always try to make sure that you're at least nose first, so at least you have a sense of just how fast and how slowly or fast you're sinking into the abyss. It will take some practice, so don't be discouraged. Everybody crashes the first time, second time, so just keep at it. Once you get it, it is well worth its time. And I think you'll have the most fun with it. And dare I say, you might have a ton of garages on top of your base for all the helicopters you bought or stole.